Hello, everybody.
Welcome. Welcome.
All right. So with that, hello everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. Of course, this is Friday night, so this is of course our weekly look back through comics history. Before we get into that, of course, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hand it over to my co-host for a moment. I do need to step away from the computer for a moment, Apex, but if you want to go ahead and intro yourself, promote anything you're doing so go ahead. I'll be right back.
He'll be right back. Yo, Apex Comics here. Brett Cantrell, artist, writer, creator, inker, letterer, blah blah blah. Sometimes colors. Yes. Tomorrow night is Rex Hex and Apex art auction. Indeed, yes. It's on my channel. I will put the link in the chat. We're going to have Rob Ewing. We got Bill Mouse. If you know Nora X's Bill Mouse, who worked with Don Chen. And, of course, Diller Draws and Doc Blaylock. So, yes, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. Pacific. It's going to run 2 hours on my channel. And if it catches fire, we'll have the remaining auction on Double Flyer Momentum channel 10 p.m. onwards. So we'll have it on two channels, my channel and Rex's channel. Starting on my channel, but I only have 6 people in my panel. I haven't upgraded my StreamYards, but Rex has the upgraded StreamYards. So the remainder of the auction from 10 p.m. on will be on Rex's channel. So I'll put the link in the chat. Yes, God bless everyone. I guess, well, I don't know if you would say a memorial being happy, but, happy Memorial Weekend to everyone. Let's honor our fallen heroes, our soldiers, our police, our firefighters, anyone related to danger who have lost their lives in action. God bless everyone on Memorial Weekend. And take the time to thank your veteran and honor those who have fallen at parades and funerals, cemeteries. Just just honor our fallen heroes. Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Did you also talk about what you were telling me just before we went live about the auction there?
Watch it on rewind.
You talking?
Yeah.
Well, I
Yes,
know
I
you
did.
didn't. You didn't.
Yes, I did.
You put the link up too, so people could.
I will put the link up right now. I was so busy talking and do that. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I know how that goes. 121 guns, lay down your heart into the fire.
What album is that off of?
I'm not sure the actual album, but I think it might have been Green Day who actually
Oh
sung it.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so for those in the chat as well, if you haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions in a moment. I'm just waiting, of course, for Apex to put his link up for his show tomorrow night so that we can highlight it for you guys
Yes.
before we get going here.
Yes. Give me a moment. It takes so much time to do that. Oh, hold on. I'll just go ahead and yeah, that was good. Yeah. So, how was everybody's week? How was everybody's
Yeah,
week?
look like Elk is here as a parasocial
Parasocial.
audience.
Hey,
Hey, Elk, Dino and
parasocial.
Zena. Hey, Elk.
We got aliens here. Cool.
Ah,
Hold on. Uh, 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 uh. And Yoda, yoda, hoo. Make sure it's all correct. Make sure it's all
Getting it.
correct.
No, we'll be getting to what we'll be reading in a moment, Elk.
Oh,
I'm just giving Apex a moment here to
forgot to put the
put a
date
link
on
up
there.
because
Sorry.
he's got a. Well, would you like to tell? Oh,
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. Yes, there is a Rex Hex and Apex auction tomorrow night. I forgot to put the date on there. The 25th, which is tomorrow night, Saturday night at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. Pacific. We're going to have Rob Ewing, of course, Rex Hex and Apex, us three. And then we got Rob Ewing, Bill Mouse, Diller Draws, and Doc Blaylock. Those guys.
all right. So I guess the at least on my end, I don't know if it happened on your end as well, but I guess my signal got too low and I was cut off there for a moment.
Uh-oh. Whoa. Auction art. Yeah, art. Maybe there'll be some comics in there. I'm not sure. But mainly art and possibly some comics. Original pages. Art pages. I've got some original pages to sell. Once I've done, what was it, 32 years ago, 1992. So I'll be auctioning those off, plus some others. I got some creep art, got some Fembat. I've got, oh yeah, some original stuff, even some CG type characters and avatars of other people's channels. Got a little secret to actually present at the auction. Bell Mouse, if you're related, he's worked on Nora X, his own creation. He's worked with Don Chen, and of course Rob Ewing, who's worked on Melvin and some stuff from the '90s. Kelly Bell from the '90s, and of course Dillard Dross. A lot of people know who John Dillard is. He's been all around CG and helping other people get their comics out. And of course Doc Blaylock, a damn dirty thing, which is on Indiegogo. Oh no, wait, Fund My Comic. It's on Fund My Comic. My bad. So yeah, we have those guys. I haven't really upgraded my stream yards. I can only have 6 people in there at a time, but we'll have Doc Blaylock on early since he goes to bed really early. We'll have him on, and the remainder of the time will be those other 3 fun artists there, along with myself and Hex and Rex. So, oh yeah, it will be from 8 to 10 on my channel, and I believe 10 on, if it goes well, if it catches fire, and plenty of people in the chat. Then we'll have the remainder of the auction from 10 p.m. on Rex's channel, which is Double Flower Momentum channel. So,
Right.
yeah, going on 2 channels.
All right. So with that, everybody.
Yeah, original pages.
Let's talk about why we're here, right?
That's right.
So tonight, of course, we're continuing our trek back to February of 1940. We're going to go through Prize publications. We're going to be looking at Prize Comics Volume 1, Issue 2. Among the features we'll be looking at will include Power Nelson, Jupiter the Master Magician, Black Owl, and Storm Curtis of the U.S. Coast Guard. Interesting thing, even though early on here, Power Nelson was the lead feature for this particular book, Black Owl actually ended up, I think, becoming the most well-known of these particular heroes.
Yes, Black Owl also was crowdfunding. Is in public domain. It's been crowdfunded a couple of years ago. Someone put out Black Owl comic book on Indiegogo. I think it went very well.
Well, yeah. Well, I had also heard that, and I think RJ was part of a project where they were, I think it was headed up by Luke Stone or something like that, where they were bringing back some public domain characters. I know RJ did a clock story from Quality Comics fame. So, anyways, let's see.
How did select a reading? Is there themes? Oh well, you'll find out. But we'll get the reading on that.
Well, okay. So how do I select the readings? Well, basically, for the most part, the main focus, of course, tends to be more superhero when we have them. How I generally, though, of course, we're doing this in a very methodical, chronological order. So we're going through each. So basically, the idea is that to introduce people to each of the comic universes, right? So this week we're going to be in prize. Now of course in this case we have probably at least one superhero with Power Nelson. Actually, we probably have three of the four are superheroes, and Storm Curtis is Coast Guard. Basically, I try to try to um, I figure in about a 2 hour period, I can get about 30 pages read. So I will usually select, anywhere from 4 to 6 stories, thinking about how long it takes me for each reading. I may do like 1 or 2 headliners, one middle of the road, and again, depending upon what book we happen to be reading and what characters we want, I'm going to focus on. So obviously we focus. Obviously again, it's going to focus more on the superhero stuff, but I will also select because not every comic universe had superheroes. Some of them we will do slice of life stuff. We'll have some Western heroes. We'll have So it just depends, and it also depends upon the popularity of the character too. I mean, granted, we'll see more, and with some of them, and you see this more with DC and Marvel, of course, where I'll rotate characters around. Where 1 month I may do a Superman story, for example, or one time when I'm doing DC, I may do Superman, and then the next time I may do Batman.
Yes.
Unless it's a world's finest, like select, or unless we're reading like from world's finest, chances are I won't do a Superman and Batman because first off that's like 26 pages right there. That's a huge chunk doing
It's a 4-hour show.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. So basically, I try to vary it up, as much as I can. So that's basically how I, obviously with a superhero focus, but we will hit other characters too. And of course, it also reminiscent of the whole idea is to give you kind of the experience of what it would be like if you were living in the time that the comic came out. What it would be, one of the things I like to do is, of course, try to help people kind of, either live or relive that particular experience, right? Of what it'd be like to get that because obviously none of us here was around in February 1940. So, but what would have been like reading those comics, right? I mean, some of us would probably know what it felt like to read comics from the times that we grew up in. So that would be more like the reliving of the experience.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
Ultimately, a lot of times what it is, it's like my ultimate goal is to make you feel like you went into that universe.
Oh, yes.
Kind of a meta. But with all that being said, why don't we actually get to the actual readings?
Let's do it.
And the Power Nelson story is kind of interesting. You'll see why in a moment.
Power Nelson.
It's one of those instances of what you get what you get, of course. So Prize Comics, April, of course, that's the cover date. 10 cents. Big Scoop Prize Contest, Action Adventure Detective.
Ooh, I'll buy that for 10 cents.
Yeah. There's Power Nelson right there.
Power Nelson.
Power Nelson, the future man.
Huh.
Power Nelson, man of the future. It is the year 1982, and civilization, exhausted by the Second and Third World Wars, has been conquered by a Mongol horde. The ruler of the world is Emperor Sengai. In his new New York palace, he governs with despotic might all civilized people who groan under his oppression. His soldiers and spies are everywhere, and all hope of liberty seems gone forever. Now, this is the part that I find interesting because this is a perspective kind of thing, right?
Right.
No. So back in this comic went on sale in February 1940, which probably meant they would have probably been when they were writing this story, it would have probably been throughout maybe the latter half of 39, maybe into early 40, right. So when we go through this story, and when we look through this story, and we look at how they're talking and the artwork and all that, think about it from this perspective. This is what they thought
What's the future?
1982 would be like, 40 years from that point. So let's say you were a little kid then. Let's say you were like 5 or 6 then, right? In 1940, right?
Right.
So 82, so 40 to 82, that's 42 years. So Matt, this is what the world would have been like when you were about 47 or 48, let's say.
Wow.
Right? And from their perspective, if let's say you were 40, right, you would have been like 80, so this is so the aspect here is, okay, this is what they thought 1982, when we look at the story and we look at the artwork and we look how they presented it, it's going to be for me, it's going to be somewhat of a fascinating to look back and see, okay, this is what people thought 1982 would be like.
That's right.
Versus what we really know,
Yeah, it's like watching old Flash Gordon serials. It's like, oh, this is 1971. It's like made in what, 1936. They think 1971 would be space and flying cars and all that. It's like,
well, even thinking about like the Jetsons too, right?
Yeah, right.
Look at how when the Jetsons came out in the 60s, there, what they thought, and they were thinking like 40, 60 years ahead. So, but anyways, that's just the point I wanted to make about this particular story, just in that aspect. So let's continue on here. Out west, dust storms blight the crops. Food is scarce in New York. So New York becomes New York according to them in 1982. Now some people have also used Neo before, like when they want to say something like Neo knew something. But let's see. Let's see. So I'm just okay. Without atomic weapons, 2 more world wars may have happened. Yeah,
possibly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing. Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's also theoretically. Well, you have to remember too. World War II was actually going on at the time this comic was created. Granted, the U.S. was not involved in it yet,
right?
But it had already started over in Europe.
Yes.
Okay, so there's theoretically World War III could have also came into. But anyways,
bread.
We want bread. We want bread. But the Mongol police crushed the people's protest.
Quiet! By the Emperor's orders.
We're hungry. All available food is loaded into the Stratosphere freighters.
Get those cabbages aboard.
And rushed to the Emperor's army. The Mongol soldiers live on the fat of the land.
Good food in this army.
Yup, and plenty of it. Yum. In the Emperor's palace.
Sir, the New Yorkers are starving.
Bah! What do I care? But one man cares. Power Nelson.
Da, da, da.
He is a youth who has secretly been given who has secretly been given by scientists marvelous strength and energy. He and he alone fights for civilization against the conquering horde. Power goes into action. Stop! Women and children need that food.
Yeah, so what?
So this.
Ugh.
Yeah. 3 more soldiers charge at Power.
Get him! Kill him!
Power disposes of 2 of them. Get together, boys.
Ugh.
That kind of sounds like Hulk Hogan likes to do a lot too.
Clunk.
Just stick a couple guys' heads and
Yeah.
smash them together.
Yeah.
A lot of superheroes like to do that.
Oh, yeah.
The third gets behind Power, presses a rocket pistol to his back, and squeezes the trigger. But Power's body is hard as steel. The laser backfires. Yeah, putting a pistol against a steel frame, like actually it was against his. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it
Well, it
was.
might have been against his armor there, but I guess it was against his. Okay.
Yeah.
During the fight, the Stratosphere freighter takes off. Now, marvel at this for a moment. Look at the scenery here.
Yeah.
Now, Apex, you want to talk about maybe the art here for a moment?
Yeah. Well,
Go
this
ahead.
art, you have to simplify it enough to make deadline. I don't know how many pages there are, but yeah, it looks like a cigar-shaped flying object. You know, like a lot of the UFOs people witness. Oh, it was a cigar-shaped object with an actual cigar smoke coming out from the back. Yeah, and so it looks like this one is a cigar-shaped craft, along with some futuristic scenery. A lot of these, you get a lot of those in the old 30s and 40s art in the comics, and of course the pulp magazines and what have you.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I don't know who the artist is, but a lot of these comics were not credited, hardly ever credited, except for
Yeah.
a very few, like Bill Everett, Submariner, on Carl Burgos, or Human Torch, etc. But yeah, there you go. That's the art.
Let's see. Well, you notice at the very front of that freighter too. You know that looks kind of like a bird's beak to me.
Oh yeah, it kind of does. Yeah.
So interesting stuff. Again, interesting stuff to see how they perceived what like 42 years into the future was going to be like.
Oh yeah.
That itself is kind of a nice little thing to. All right. Then Power makes a terrific leap and catches the tail of the freight. Look at that!
Wow.
Look at that! Wow.
Nice.
That would have taken somebody to grab onto something like that and to have the strength to hold on too.
Oh, gosh, crazy.
I mean, first off, can you imagine if somebody who wasn't super strong or anything like that tried that and they missed? And well, what happened if they missed?
I'll fall to their death. Yeah. Bye, hero. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he climbs to the top. Now to get inside, and rips up the steel plates as if they were paper, just like opening a can. He lets himself down through the hole into the control cabin. I hope I'm not intruding.
Who are you? He's got no business here. Shoot him! I'm shooting, but he doesn't die.
That's got to be something. You shoot somebody and yet they don't die. It's like, how do I get rid of this guy? Right? while Power knocks out the first pilot. Take a little snooze.
Ugh.
The other pilot radios for help.
SOS! Freighter 66 captured by a strange man.
Oh boy, Raider 66. Oh boy, just one number away from the demonic number.
Yeah, how about that?
Uh-huh. The Emperor picks up the message.
Freighter 66 captured by strange man. That's mutiny! Send out a heat ray rocket fighter.
The Emperor's oldest son, Prince Oogie.
Send out a heat ray rocket fighter. Here's my chance. Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
Here's my chance to have for some fun. Prince Oogie appears before the Emperor. Father, let me take up the heat ray fighter.
I grant your request.
The prince takes off in the air-conditioned heat ray fighter. Of course he does, right?
Oh, air conditioned. Yeah, it has to be air conditioned.
Yeah, I think that's a subtle hint at rich, powerful people evil, simple regular humans good. I think that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Power has knocked out both pilots. They won't bother me for a while. He sets up the automatic pilot. This will make the ship circle the city. Then he visits the cargo hold. First, I'll drop the main hatch. Look at that. Now, let me ask you something. If you were walking around a city street like that, and all of a sudden you had all this crate of food coming down for you, what might you think of that there, Apex?
God has sent manna to earth. We will be fed. Yes.
Yeah, so let me just want to see if there's any no new comments. And everybody's still watching at least, okay? He throws out tons of food out of the freighter. This will cheer a lot of people below. Down in the city streets.
Look out, something's falling. It's from the freighter. Run!
They're probably thinking they're going to get bombed on or something.
Yeah, bombed by food. Yeah.
The food crashes down. A few minutes later,
we eat food from the skies.
Manna from heaven.
Yes.
Soon the freighter is empty. That helps some, but they must have more. Meanwhile, the heat ray fighter zooms up. So, look at that little purple thing right there. You see it?
Yeah.
The left part of the panel there?
Yeah.
Look at that small little thing that tried to take out that big cargo train.
Nice.
Cargo air train.
Do it.
Prince Oogie is at the controls. I'll enjoy this, the freighter unharmed. High into the upper stratosphere, the two ships dogfight. Oh, look at that! Look at that action there. Finally, the heat ray fighter gets into position. Now for the heat ray. The deadly heat ray flames out. And the tail of the fighter melts like butter. But Power gets out on top of the ship. Wonder what he's planning on doing. He carries a large sledgehammer. And look how they spelled sledgehammer there. In this case, they hyphenate it
Yeah.
Nowadays, they usually just put it all in one
All
word.
together. Yeah.
This may do the trick. With his terrific strength, he hurls the hammer. Kind of like Thor, right? Throw the hammer. The sledge speeds straight to the tail of the prince's ship. Wow, he threw it just like Thor and had pretty much the same effect, probably, right?
Yeah.
The only difference is the hammer doesn't come back to him, unfortunately. Nope. And damages the rocket motor. My motor's gone. Or my motor's gone. I'll crash. At this moment, a small planetoid enters the Earth's orbit. A small planetoid. Oh wow. The disabled heat ray fighter, drifting helplessly through the stratosphere, is attracted by the planetoid's gravitation. It crashes on the planetoid's surface. In his air-conditioned cabin, Prince Oogie is unhurt. Marooned on a planetoid, being swept out into space. Help! The Emperor gets the message. Being swept out into space.
This is terrible. This is terrible.
He broadcasts a frantic appeal.
Untold wealth to anyone who saves Prince Oogie.
Meanwhile, Power's ship crashes to Earth. Power emerges unhurt from the wreckage. That was quite a fight. A few minutes later,
untold wealth to anyone who saves Prince Oogie.
Well, that's interesting. Power uses his pocket sending set. This is Power Nelson. If I save Prince Oogie, will you give the army's food to the people? Immediately, the answer comes back.
Yes, yes. I promise only save my son.
In the outskirts of New York, scientists have built a rocket space gun. You notice how they're combining these things, right?
Wow.
You got a spaceship and a gun, all heat ray fighter, right?
Yeah.
A freighter train, a freighter rocket.
There you go.
Man, they had quite a scientific imagination, didn't they? Quite a sci-fi imagination, huh?
Absolutely.
With which they hope someday to shoot a message to Mars. The space gun. I want you to shoot me in the space gun to the planetoid.
That's impossible. Why you'd be blown to atoms? It's absurd.
But Power finally gets his way. I won't be blown to bits. I'll wear this oxygen helmet so I can breathe. Power packs a rocket repair kit.
Huh.
He climbs into the space gun. You may fire when you're ready.
He must be crazy. I'm not so sure. He seems to have confidence.
The space gun's lanyard is pulled.
Here goes.
The mighty gun goes off. And Power shoots off into space. Soon he lands on the planetoid. And look, there he is with the oxygen mask too there.
Looking all badass.
Yeah. He's got a green oxygen mask, but everything else is red and yellow.
Yeah. There you go.
Able to breathe because of his oxygen mask, he fixes the rocket motor. In a few minutes, the heat ray fighter is able to take off. Prince Oogie is ungrateful. You humiliated me. I won't forget this. You don't worry me. Power lands the heat ray fighter safely in open country. Now run home to Papa. Someday I'll get you. The Emperor keeps his promise.
I hereby decree that the army's extra food shall go to the people.
The army sees lean days.
Not much eats. I'm thin as a rail.
But the civilized people rejoice.
Food. Go ahead.
Food at last! It's wonderful!
Yep, and plenty of it. Oh, it's a female. Okay. Wow, we have something to eat these days.
Yes. Now, if we only had our freedom. I'll keep on fighting till civilization is free. Follow the fight of Power Nelson, the future man, on
Each issue.
in each issue of Prize Comics.
Ta-da.
So, what did you think of the story there, Apex?
I like it. It
What
says,
what was your what did you think of their views of what 1982 was like?
well, of course, it's very, very far out compared. I graduated in 1982 from high school, believe it or not.
I was going on 7 in 1982.
Yeah, while you're youngin. So yeah. Other than that, it's funny how it's almost compared to today. If China were to rule America, and this would happen, and then New York wouldn't have any food, being one of the major cities, then we have a hero like Power Nelson come to save our hides from becoming hungry and fighting for our freedom. And so, yes, it's good to have some good heroes to fight for the oppressed, the ones who need help. And there comes Power Nelson saving the day.
Yeah, not worrying about climate change or
No.
or what or trying to delude themselves about about how they were born, whether they were born a man or a woman,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is stuff I think most people would more enjoy reading or hearing other people read than what we find today, right?
Oh, absolutely. Oh man. Yeah.
Let's see. Elk. Power Nelson would be on TikTok.
Okay. Yeah, you probably would. Power Nelson on TikTok.
All right. See, a lot of as we see here, a lot of the books back in these days were anthologies. So
yeah,
you're gonna have a pretty good variety here. So this is the Ted O'Neill feature, and I think the Power Nelson feature was probably about 12 to 13. So the lead features back in this time were like 12 to 13 pages, and then the secondary features, which were usually at the end of the comic, were about the same, maybe slightly like 11 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else in between was usually anywhere from like, maybe depending upon what they were doing, with maybe like 4 to 8 pages probably.
Yeah, sometimes 8 pages. 9, 7 pages, 5. Just very low number of pages.
Yeah, single digit.
Yeah.
Jupiter, the Master Magician by Greg Chapman.
Ooh, okay, cool.
At least just to, well, let me go up back up real quick to see if we can find, see if we can see who may have been created with the Power Nelson story real quick here.
All right.
Up real quick.
Ted
I
O'Neill.
didn't see anything up there, but
Hmm.
maybe I just happened to miss it. Maybe it was more.
No, there's Ted O'Neill after Power Nelson.
Yeah, we're gonna read the Jupiter Master Magician story next, but right
All right.
now we're just going. I'm just going back up to check something here real quick. Power
Yeah.
Nelson, Man of the Future. Yeah, I don't see any. Yeah, no. Yeah, okay.
Hmm. Right.
I mean, I could take a quick peek over probably at like Mike's Amazing World of Comics. They probably have it, but I wanted to pull that up, but
Oh
that
yeah.
take a little too much time, I think,
Yeah.
just
Right.
for that. So, but that was a very interesting story. So now we're gonna get ready to read the next story, Jupiter.
Can I
Oh,
be Jip? Can I be Jupiter?
yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Jupiter, Master Magician by Greg Champion. So, hmm. The city lies tense and quivering in fear. Nightly people disappear, leaving no trace. Jim Johnson, star reporter, has been assigned to cover the mysterious case.
Hello, Chief. 5 more people have disappeared. It's getting kind of late, so I'm going home now.
Hmm. As Johnson leaves the phone booth,
So that's the cause.
Jim leaps to rescue the woman from the horrible monster. With one terrific blow, the ugly creature knocks Johnson out cold. He is left for dead in the streets.
Cool.
Oh, you want to do the girl? Okay, do the
Yeah.
girl.
Eek. Help. Eek. Ah.
Recovering after a few hours, we find Jim Johnson in a phone booth once more.
Gosh, if only I could only get in touch with Jupiter by telephone. Looking for me, Johnson? Jupiter, thank heaven you're here.
Hmm. Well, I would have wanted to take Jupiter there, but
Okay, if you want to go ahead and be Jupiter, that's cool.
looking for me, Johnson.
Jupiter, thank heaven you're here.
Quickly, Jim Johnson tells Jupiter the whole tragic story.
So you see, there's not a minute to lose.
Let's see what the crystal ball says.
What do you see?
I see an evil, horrible city far away. It's shielded by rays. I can't locate it.
Hmm.
There's only one way to find out. You must be my decoy.
Sure, I'm game.
Jupiter watches the monster overpower Jim and carry him off into the air. Um, Now I'll follow. Jupiter follows the monster over great mountains to a mysterious city. Well. Here goes. Here goes. I must see what's become of Jim. Hold
Ah,
on, hold on, but don't read yet because I'm trying to figure out the. Uh, Look at how they got the panels here. It's a little bit of a.
yeah,
So I guess we just kind of go back, and I think we go left, right, and then down, and then left,
yeah,
right. I think that's how. I think that's
yeah.
how.
Left to right, yeah.
Yeah.
Soon, under the rays of the torture lamp, your skin will crack and shrivel. your mind will dissolve and you will become a monster. I can conquer the world with enough of your kind.
Not while I'm around.
Who is this fool who dares to interfere with my plans? Seize him, slaves!
At a magic word, Jupiter turns all who approach him into rigid statues. Balku! Once you were men, therefore I shall not harm you. Jim's bonds drop off before he can finish his words.
Jupiter, get me.
Potopo, you're free, Jim. Get up.
It's no use. I can't fight his white magic. That fiend has blocked the passages.
Don't let that worry you, Jim. Jupiter utters a magical word, and the tunnel is cleared. Zutark!
I wonder where this will lead us.
Suddenly, a terrific explosion is set off by the crazed scientists in an attempt to kill both Jupiter and Jim. Crash! At the mouth of the tunnel, the monsters are waiting in ambush.
Fire!
No, Laxo! Onitako. Oh, I guess maybe that was okay. I didn't do the right voice for that. I just thought it was. But anyways, at the magic words, each rifle is struck out of the monster's hands by an invisible hand. Take me to your master, and you will be free men again. Hold on. Let's see. This, I guess, left and then the two on the right.
Yeah.
The monsters do not answer from fear. Onsunno Banal then return to the laboratory and become statues like the others.
Oh.
I see the mad scientist hiding in a cavern far beneath the earth.
Wow, I still don't know how you do it.
Split open, O earth! I command it. Avrapstopol. You like how I'm getting a lot of these weird words?
That's great.
At the magic command, the earth yawns wide beneath them.
We'll get him now.
We must be very careful. He is extremely crafty. As Jupiter and Johnson enter the cavern, a ray suddenly shines on them.
Jupiter, I can't move.
It's a paralysis ray.
Now the paralysis ray is working full blast. This will keep you both until I return. Now I go to create more monsters.
Before Jupiter can act, a monster trips on the ray cord, shutting it completely off.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Instantly, Jupiter takes advantage of the situation, he enters the laboratory containing the paralysis ray and causes it to explode. Bang! Crash!
There goes a lot of swell equipment.
Too bad it was used for evil purposes. They fly homeward again. Jim, we must find that fiend.
How, Jupiter?
We can watch the entire city from here.
Look, something is going on down there.
With horror, they watch a whole trolley car of people are being attacked by the monsters.
Let none escape! Help! Oh, help!
Let's see. Become strong, fight off the monsters. Suddenly, the people become very powerful. With superhuman strength, they overpower the monsters.
Here's a dose of your own medicine.
Madly, the monsters run to escape this power which is greater than theirs.
Jupiter, why didn't you kill them?
Because I must force that mad scientist to
realize
his mistake and change the monsters back into humans again. Jupiter's hand begins to grow larger and larger. Now we will attack. Shoes, no, on, no, oho. Jupiter's finger assumes enormous proportions. He pushes the mad scientist from his seat.
Help! What's happening?
He falls into the ocean.
Ah! Help! Save me! Save me! Don't let me drown!
Only if you will change the monsters back into men.
Yes, anything. Only save me. Then back
Yeah,
we go.
okay, hold on a second. Yeah. So you notice how bad guys are like that? Again, we're reminded again of what Thomas Wayne said about bad guys, right? About criminals. How they are superstitious and cowardly lot. When they're in peril or they're somebody close to them in peril, they become pretty wimpy at this point.
Yeah, you do. Then back we go to your laboratory. Go.
Actually, I think that was me.
Sorry.
Then back we go to your laboratory. Quick acto. Instantly, they are transmitted back to the evil city. Now, carry out your promise. Suddenly, the demented scientist grabs Johnson and holds a gun to his neck.
No! I won't carry out my promise. One word and your friend dies.
Jupiter utters one word. Johnson takes the form of a bird and flies out of danger. Solana! Now, the fiendish scientist has no other choice but to obey Jupiter. Carry out your promise, or I'll turn you into a worm and crush you. Oh, wow!
Nice.
That would be very interesting, wouldn't it?
That'd be cool. I'll have to do as you say.
Well, unless he wanted to be crushed like a worm, right?
Yeah.
Under the influence of the microzoic ray, the monsters become normal human beings again.
What happened? Where am I? How did we get here?
They recognized the mad scientist. Desiring revenge, all the men set upon him with fury.
Finish him off! Kill him! Ugh. That's him! Get after that fiend!
No! Return to your homes. Ruslingo! Suddenly, the men are gone. Now, as for you,
Me? No, never. I shall die here.
the fiend electrocutes himself.
Ah,
Good riddance. Jupiter quickly restores Johnson to his former self.
Jupiter, I was sure you'd forgotten me altogether.
Jim, I'll never do that.
Go ahead.
Remember when you need me, just think of me, and I'll come.
So long, Jupiter, till we meet again.
Follow the exciting adventures of Jupiter, Master Magician, in Prize Comics. All right, so what did you think of that story, Apex?
Nice. Good one. Has a bit of a Vincent Price feel when I did the villains.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both did some pretty good voice work there.
Yes, excuse me. Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming up on an hour already.
Yeah.
Well, let me just take care of something here real quick because apparently we're down to one here. So let me see if I can spark something here.
It's like the neighbors are kind of loud tonight, huh?
Huh?
There's some neighbors in the background. Whoever that
Oh,
is.
you're hearing somebody talk in the background
Yeah.
on my end.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my sister. She's out in
Oh,
the
that's it.
living room.
Oh. Right. Okay, cool.
Scoop 48 states contest. Now, just of course, just a reminder for everybody. Remember, this was 1940. So at the time, we only had the continental. Hawaii and Alaska were not states yet.
Right.
Hey, look at it. Alabama.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, they're just putting them randomly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I guess what this was that they numbered each of the states, and then you had to write them in, and then send in the form to.
Oh, that's wild.
Jackson of the Jungle here. So we have a jungle adventure. The next one we're going to read, of course, I think will be the Black Owl story.
I like Black Owl. Yeah, it's Black Owl.
Oh, look at that lovely lady right there in the far right corner.
Wow, wow.
Secret Agent M-11. Or M2, I guess. I guess it depends on how you read it. Is that 2 eyes as in the Roman numeral 2?
Yeah.
Oh, look at where that guy's got his hand.
Hello. What's on his shoulder?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Here we go. Black Owl.
Yeah.
So now I don't know if you were with me when we read the first, but this is actually the first story. He's called the Black Owl because the previous story he went by another name, I believe. Or so the Black Owl by Pete Niebird.
Huh.
In the office of Terry Dane, lovely young private detective.
Doug Danville, if you are only half the man the Black Owl is.
You make me regret I'm just a you make me regret I'm just a playboy. I'm just a playboy. Terry, I'm just a playboy Terry. Better answer your phone. It, if you only knew that I am the Black Owl.
Corner of Mott and Lotus Street. Why, that's in the heart of Chinatown. What? Oh, I'll meet you at 10 o'clock.
The call comes from a cheap chop suey joint in New York's Chinatown.
Please don't fail me, Miss Dane. It's a matter of life and death. Goodbye. You better beat it now, Doug. I've work to do. I'm starting on the case tonight.
See you later. As he leaves the office, Danville notices a suspicious looking character skulking in the hall. What's that bird hanging around for? See. He's gone in to see Terry. I'd better check up.
Forget about that telephone call you just got, Toots, or else.
What's going on here?
Don't you try to follow me or I'll blast you. Remember what I told you about that Chinatown appointment, babe.
Maybe you'd better forget about this new case, Terry. That fellow wasn't fooling.
No cheap thug with a cat pistol can scare me. You're a ninny, Doug. Why didn't you rush him?
Oh wow! This girl's got some moxie, doesn't she?
You rush him so he can shoot you. Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, just rush him so he'll shoot you. Great.
Danville, the dude, decides to keep Terry's appointment unknown to her. Terry Dane is going to see her friend, the Black Owl, sooner than she expected. There's his mask, I guess. Terry and her client are entering that little curio shop. Wonder what it's all about. They
disappeared.
They've disappeared.
No, see, gentlemen and lady, you wish buy something?
Hey, I should have probably read that part before. A man and a woman came in here a half hour ago, and they haven't come out yet. Where are they?
No, see, gentlemen and lady, you wish buy something?
Don't hand me that. No something line. What have you done with them?
Me swear, this humble proprietor no see. Oof. No hitty again. I tell you, behind Big Buddha, secret door. Leave that alone.
Hey, I shaved one today.
The missing hatchet men advance on the Black Owl.
Okay. Why not put away the cutlery, boys?
Get out of here, or me chop like bacon.
Suddenly, the Black Owl pulls down the curio shelf and diverts attention to the two.
Yeah.
The two Chinese individuals. The two men from China.
Oh, wow. Racist.
Edit there.
Wow.
We're not going to do that.
Whoa. Crazy, man. Ah!
This is how we do it in America. And just a disclaimer, of course, that particular term is considered offensive, so that's why we did not use it. It's considered offensive then. It's considered offensive now, albeit back then it was unfortunately tolerated. It was a factor of its time, and we just have to deal with it. So,
Yeah, that's history.
just as the Black Owl is about to clean up the place, the law arrives.
Hey there, cut it out before I run yous in.
Not wanting to mix with police, the Black Owl nimbly dodges around the officer.
Come back here, you.
Sorry, some other time. Shortly after the police left. That's queer. Two wealthy-looking parties entered that dump in the last half hour, and none came out. I must find what's behind the secret door.
No can go. Ah.
Out of my way, fatso. A secret passage.
Where do you think you're going? This ain't no masquerade, buddy. What's the password?
This for threatening little Terry this morning.
Ah. Ugh.
Once past the guard, Black Owl finds a busy secret gaming room. Now, just so people understand, obviously gaming. When people say gaming room today, it's a little bit different than it was back then.
Yep.
Gaming room they meant was a place where you had gambling games like poker and
Roulette.
Roulette and all that.
Yeah.
Today, when people hear the term gaming room, it usually means like tabletop gaming or like video games, stuff like that. So just so people understand, a gaming room in the 40s was more reflective of like a gambling establishment.
Yeah.
So just a little FYI. A hidden gambling den, and what a layout. But I don't see Terry and her client. Moments later, a knife flashes through the air, warns Black Owl that he has been discovered. And right back at you, Yellow boy. Again, product of the time. It's considered an offensive term. We know that. Product of the time. We're just relaying, it was tolerated then, but it's not. It shouldn't be tolerated now. Should not have been tolerated then, but it was. And it should not be tolerated now either. So, speak while you still can. What's happened to Terry Dane? Who was the man she was with? Who runs this gambling joint? Sing out.
Man with lady, Herbert Chivery. Owe money to you, to Lou Kong, who owns gaming den. Kong make Chivery bring rich friends here to lose money on crooked wheels. Chivery wanted to double-cross Kong. I don't.
As he speaks, the Chinese hoodlum's finger presses the hidden button and... Hey! The trapdoor drops Black Owl into the dungeon where Kwong tortures Chivery in front of Terry. The wire vest has been twisted tighter and tighter.
Whoever that is arrived just in time. 10 minutes more and I'd be a hamburger. The Black Owl, thank heavens.
Be with you folks soon. as I mop up this garbage. Seeing the Black Owl is going to win the fight, the crafty Kwong tries to escape.
Black Owl, Kwong, Black Owl, Kwong getting away.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little tricky with some of the
Yeah.
word bubbles. Right. Thanks for the warning, Miss Dane. Back here, you. All right. Kind of a weird way to put that. Black Owl soon frees Terry in Chivalry. That secret exit leads to the river. Bring back the police.
You're wonderful. Won't you tell me who you really are?
Oh, well, she already knows it. Well, she may not know his identity, but she knows of his identity.
Right. Right.
Didn't you?
I was there at last. Thanks to Black Owl, Kwong can't blackmail me anymore and fleece my friends. And you've avoided the publicity of going to the police. Wonder if Black Owl likes me.
Okay, that I think was more of a. So for those thought bubbles,
Yeah.
Let me make a slight suggestion. When you got the like fuzzy stuff like the thought bubbles,
Oh, okay.
do it like this to kind of differentiate between spoke.
Well, they should have had a bubble where it leads out from the other bubble. Those three little circles instead of just a little word thing. So that's on them. So there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Owl gives the cruel half-breed a dose of his own medicine. Now, will you sign this full confession for the police?
Yes, anything.
After Kwong signed the confession, Black Owl bound and gagged him and started up a hidden staircase. Stop wiggling or I'll bang your head on the stairs. Isn't that quite a...
Yeah.
It leads to the roof, just as I thought. A strange sight greets Terry and police when they reach the curio shop.
Why, it's Kwong, and that note looks like a signed confession. Begoria, you didn't say he was tied up like a Christmas package. Guess what happened tonight, Doug Danville? I saw Black Owl again. Wait till I tell you. I can hardly wait.
Oh, that might have been him, actually.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, we should have had a little singy thing.
Well, because I think it's coming out of the phone there.
Right.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
I can hardly wait.
Oh.
Will Terry Dane learn that the Black Owl is really Doug Danville? Wait and see another smashing adventure with Black Owl next month. So how did you like that story there?
Nice. It was all right.
Yeah, they've been some pretty good stories tonight, haven't they?
Yeah, it's good. Good one.
Yeah, I mean, and a good mix. I mean, these are all kind of like superhero stories, but they make, we have a futuristic, we have a magician hero, and we have your normal like mass vigilante, or what they like to call back then mystery men. Yeah. All right. Now let's move on. So the final story we're going to go over, of course, the final story we're going to read was Storm Curtis of the U.S. Coast Guard.
Yeah.
There's Buck Brady of the FBI.
Buck Brady.
Yeah, there you go. Storm Curtis of the United States Coast Guard. By Richard Norman. Steamer sunk by U-boat without warning. Desperately striving to safely reach her native shore, the SS Lincoln churns the Atlantic to a white foam in her wake. But approaching the vessel is a messenger of death, a dreaded torpedo. Without warning, the missile strikes. Storm Curtis of the Coast Guard receives his instructions.
Curtis, war sentiment is high in this country since the Lincoln was sunk. As for the Coast Guard, we will patrol the Atlantic coast. Keep your eyes peeled for anything unusual.
In command of a cutter, Storm patrols the coastal waters. Then, one day, while cruising the North Atlantic coast, Storm comes across a British subchaser. What can you report about enemy subs in these waters? Storm boards the English ship.
The sinking of our Lincoln has the U.S. in a rage. Have you seen a red-colored sub around lately? Oh, that's supposed to be you. Sorry.
Okay. The sinking of our Lincoln has the U.S. in a rage. Have you seen a red-colored sub around lately?
Seems queer, Curtis. We've been over every inch of these waters. Does it seem possible that any sub could come from Europe and pass through our patrol?
If the sub didn't come from your side of the world, there's only one other possibility. Back at headquarters. So I have a hunch that no belligerent torpedoed the Lincoln. It may be the work of a privateer. Now, a term that was used more back then, it's not used as much now, a belligerent, which generally means like an enemy combatant in wartime.
Yeah.
What they're talking about is somebody who would be considered, basically an enemy of our country.
Yeah.
Let me carry out my plan. A sub won't come up if our cutters are in sight, but
You go ahead. That's you.
Are you sure? Because he's got a pipe in his mouth. I don't know if I don't know if Curtis had a pipe.
He's about to put a pipe in his mouth, I think.
Okay. Survivors say a red submarine sunk the Lincoln in our waters. Let me take I guess it was him. Let me take a fishing trawler, convert it into a quote unquote Q boat, and do a little naval detective work. Now, if I remember correctly, you're in the Navy, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly is a Q boat?
A cube. I heard of a U-boat, but a Q-boat. I never. That's an old 40s term, I think, and I was in the Navy like the early 90s. So
I thought maybe you might have known because
I don't know what Q. I never heard of a Q-boat actually. So that was like way before my time. Could be a quartermaster boat or I don't know. Go to it, Storm.
All right. I just thought I'd ask, knowing you were in the Navy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A gun is installed on an old fishing boat. Let's see. With sails set to make an obvious target, the trawler sets out with a gun concealed in a false cabin.
See anything yet, Storm?
nothing but that tramp. But near the tramp, an object breaks the water's surface, a periscope. A terrific explosion. The tramp is blown to pieces. At the same time, a submarine rises to the surface. Spotting the trawler, the sub cruises up to it.
Ahoy, trawler! Stand by to receive a boarding party. Our gun is aimed right at you.
The captain of the sub and a few of his men board the trawler.
We want all your oil, food, and whatever else we can use.
Well. If it isn't discontented Dan. Fancy meeting you out here. First, you get kicked out of the Naval Academy, go to prison for murder, break out, now we meet again.
Storm Curtis!
Let's see.
Yeah, that's you.
Okay. Things are shaping out in my mind, Dan. Stop me if I'm wrong. You just sank that freighter. Your sub fits the description of the sub that wrecked the Lincoln. Another guess of mine is that you're a freelance dealer in death. Am I right so far?
You're pretty smart, Curtis. Sure, I sunk the Lincoln. Dragging the U.S. into this war will do my heart good. I don't know what you're up to on this old tub.
And the reason for that, of course, is because we were at that point in 1940, we were still trying to stay out of the war, of course.
Mm-hmm. But here's a definite change in your plans.
Under arms, Storm's men are hurried from the trawler.
Since you men can give us much information on you will come with us. A false move and you will join your unlucky captain. Here's a long unfulfilled desire, Curtis. Sorry you're not alive to enjoy it.
After the trawler is deserted, if I can only get over to that false deck house. Storm reaches it and turns a handle. And the false cabin collapses, revealing the hidden gun. Everything depends on this one single shot. And then he makes a shot there. Discontented Dan, standing in the boat, makes a perfect target. The sub's big gun, no longer a threat. Storm's men launch a hand-to-hand battle from which they emerge the victor. Later, as Storm recovers in the hospital,
capturing that hoodlum averted the U.S.'s entry into the war. Name your own reward, Curtis.
This hospital sojourn plus a certain acquaintance is the best reward I could ask for.
Ah, all right.
Look at that. I guess the hospital sojourn. Look to the right there.
There you go. Lovely nurse.
Follow Storm Curtis's daring adventures in every swell issue of Prize Comics. So what did you think of that story?
Nice. Very good.
That was a pretty nice. These were all pretty nice stories tonight, huh?
Absolutely.
Hour 25. So I think it's a good point to start winding down a bit here.
It's a wind down. Yeah.
You know, so any additional commentary you want to give on the stories tonight? Any further impressions on whether the stories themselves, the artwork, the storytelling, etc., etc.?
It's self-explanatory. You read it, you enjoy it. It's from that period of time where it's very simplistic and you can tell what is what. But yeah, it's. I mean, some of the word balloons could be a little misleading, especially with the thought bubbles. It should have had those circles from the other story instead of that little wide slant thing where you speak into the bubble. But yeah, other than that, it's good. So, done a good job.
And unfortunately, we did have to do some disclaimers there.
Of course.
Particular word that's considered an offensive term for Chinese people that rhymes with think.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I could just imagine some of the insults that would come from that too. With that particular term too. Something about them smelling bad, as it were.
Right. Right.
You get where I'm going.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm not going to say it, but I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right. Oh, what's happening in history?
All right. So yeah, I guess we can hit that up. We're coming up on an hour and a half. So today is Friday, May 24th, 2024. So let's take a look back at this day in each history. History! So let's see. Let's see. 2023, 1984, and 1994. Okay. So first off, we're going to head back 40 years ago today. As on this date back in 1984, after only a reign of 18 days, Kerry Von Erich drops the NWA World Title back to Ric Flair in a 2 out of 3 falls match in Yokosuka City in Japan. Now, this is of course stemming from the fact that initially they were planning on putting the NWA title on Kerry's brother David Von Erich, but earlier in 1984 in February, during a trip to Japan for a Japanese tour with All Japan Pro Wrestling, David had passed away from acute enteritis. And so, as part of the Parade of Champions held in Dallas on May the 6th, Kerry had won the NWA World Championship from Ric Flair with a backslide. Now, the only reason they didn't keep the title on Kerry longer was, unfortunately, this is at the point when he was starting to, show that he was not really going to be a reliable world champion. Yet, I guess he was late to some shows, missed the shows too, and they decided to put the title back on Flair. Unfortunately,
okay.
Of course, we would hear about him having his motorcycle accident a couple of years later where he lost his foot. But this is one of the parts of the Von Erich tragedy where, Kerry, this is around the time Kerry had started, he had started his unfortunate situation with drugs.
Yeah.
And of course, things didn't help with 3 years after this, the passing of his brother Mike Von Erich, and then a couple years after, and then like 4 years after that with the passing of his brother Chris Von Erich. So,
wow.
So, but on this date in 1984, Kerry Von Erich would lose the NWA World Title back to Ric Flair in Yokosuka City, Japan. So, with that, moving on ahead to the next piece in each history. Moving ahead to 1994, which is 30 years ago today. On this day in 1994, Studio Kikan's OVA, Dengenki Oshoki Musume Godaman Tanyo Han would premiere in Japan and would be released in Japan on this date 30 years ago today. So on this date 30 years ago today, Studio Kikan's OVA, Dengenki Oshoki Musume Godaman Tanyo Han was released in Japan on this date 30 years ago today.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
All right. So, anyways, and finally, moving ahead to just last year, 1 year ago today, on this date, one year ago today, let me see, the 5th issue of Radiant Pink from Image Comics went on sale on this date 1 year ago today.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's actually a continuous. It's a series that started in 2022 and still running to this day, according to this, anyways. So,
Okay.
1 year ago today, the 5th issue of Radiant Pink from Image Comics went on sale on this date. Sold for $3.99 with 32 pages.
Okay.
So,
Or you could get it in your local comic shop dollar bin, if where comics are sold.
yeah, actually, let me go grab that back up real quick. Let me see, and then let me see now. Okay, so let's see. Series info here. It says here 1 to current, 23. I guess 23 issues. But apparently, according to this, anyways, well, it says here that it's still current, but it only ran for 5 issues, apparently.
Did it take them that long to finish it up? I mean, wow.
Well, okay, so they're listing all these other like variant covers too.
Oh Lord.
So that's probably why it was like they said 23 issues here, but in reality it's like 5
It's
issues.
5 issues. All
And
right.
I guess this is actually the last issue then.
Oh, good.
So that's probably why you hadn't heard of it. I
Yeah.
actually because when I looked at this, I saw 1 to current.
Hmm.
I pretty much thought that it
Well, it's
probably
current day, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
So all right. So how did you like the show overall, there, Apex?
Good show. Yes, a really good show.
Now I know you're most likely working on Sunday, but I would hope that even if it's just for a few minutes, even at the beginning, I would hope that you try to come on to say hi and stuff, and
Oh,
maybe
sure.
talk a little bit about what we read tonight. Give your impressions and plug anything you may want to do as well. I know you may not be able to stay, because I know you're probably working, but
Yeah.
and if you can stick around after we go off the air here for a couple moments for some post show stuff, that'd be
Okay.
appreciated as well.
Okay.
With that though, well, now that we are, I guess we're ending pretty early here. I usually do try to put now. Granted, I was going to try to push it to hour 43, but hour 33, I guess, fine for this. We got through the stories. Didn't really have a whole lot. Usually, because most of the stuff we read, the guys usually we pick it apart because of like leaps in logic. But even with this material, there weren't really a whole lot of leaps in logic here.
No.
There weren't like those things where you go, whoa, like how'd they get that? How'd they work that out? But there's some pretty straight up storytelling. So with that, anyways, I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. I think. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Before we leave Apex, would you like to do an outro?
Of course. You, and big in my screen.
Oh, okay.
Hello, everybody. Your friend Apex Comics here. We have a Rex Hex and Apex art auction tomorrow night on my channel at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. Pacific time. We'll have Rob Ewing, Bill Moss, Dillard Draws, and of course Doc Blaylock, along with myself and Hex and Rex. So there. And after 10 o'clock, if the auction's still going strong, we'll have from 10 p.m. over to Devil Flyer Momentum channel, which is Rex's channel, for the remainder of the auction.
So when's it starting on your channel?
8 p.m. Central.
So that'd be 6 p.m. Pacific my time.
That's
so.
right. 6 p.m. Pacific or 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very much.
All right.
See you then.
Yeah. So with that, I thank everybody for being here.
Go shrink my screen.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying. It's like I got to find the cursor first.
All right, cool.
But with that, I thank everyone for being here. I hope everybody enjoyed the show, and I thank Apex for joining me tonight. Hopefully, we'll get him back on soon to go to read through some more comics, some more classic stuff. With that, I thank everybody for being here. I hope to see everybody back here on Sunday. Bye. We're still live for some reason.
We are. Ha! There's more show to